Did you know that some of DC's most powerful characters are also some of the most overrated by fans? And before people misunderstand this video, let's make something very clear. Being overrated does not mean weak. Every character on this list is powerful. Some are among the greatest heroes, villains, and cosmic entities DC has ever created. But when fans love a character enough, they sometimes start forcing that character into debates and conversations they simply don't belong in. That's what this video is really about. Perspective. Because comic fans often take the absolute highest interpretation of a character while ignoring context, inconsistencies, lower showings, or the actual way the character is normally written. And today, we're breaking down 7 DC characters whose fan bases sometimes push them far beyond where DC consistently portrays them. Starting with Deathstroke. Deathstroke is one of DC's deadliest assassins. Enhanced strength, combat skill, tactical intelligence, and healing abilities make him extremely dangerous in grounded combat. But fans sometimes push him too far into Justice League-level threat territory. Yes, he's had impressive moments against powerful heroes, but he's also been beaten multiple times by Batman and other grounded fighters. Deathstroke survives through skill and efficiency, not because he secretly scales to top-tier metahuman or cosmic levels. Then there's Constantine. Constantine is incredibly clever, manipulative, and resourceful. He tricks demons, escapes impossible situations, and survives encounters against beings far stronger than himself. But fans often confuse survival and manipulation with raw power scaling. Wins through deception and intelligence, not because he's physically or cosmically overpowering these beings directly. Now we move to the Spectre. The Spectre has some absurd divine feats and operates on massive cosmic levels in certain stories. But online scaling often ignores his inconsistency. His power depends heavily on divine judgment, his host, and the purpose behind his actions. Some stories portray him as nearly unstoppable, while others clearly establish limits or show higher entities resisting him. He's incredibly powerful, but not an automatic win against everything in existence. Then comes Darkseid, especially true-form Darkseid. Darkseid is undeniably one of DC's greatest cosmic threats, but internet debates often exaggerate him into a being automatically above all of DC creation itself. The problem is that Darkseid scaling changes massively depending on the version. Avatar Darkseid and true-form Darkseid are completely different discussions, and different writers portray him at very different levels. He's absolutely top tier, but not every version is an omniversal god beyond all resistance. Now we arrive at Superman. Superman is one of the strongest heroes ever created, but online discourse often portrays him as infinitely powerful and unbeatable by default. A lot of that scaling comes from isolated feats, symbolic interpretations, or alternate versions rather than standard mainline Superman. Mainline Superman is unbelievably powerful, but he is not automatically above every cosmic entity in fiction just because he's Superman. Context still matters. Then there's Flash. The Speed Force makes Flash one of the most dangerous heroes in comics, and fans often treat him like an automatic win condition because of infinite speed and reaction scaling. But in actual comics, Flash still gets tagged, trapped, outsmarted, emotionally compromised, and defeated more than internet debates admit. Writers constantly balance the Speed Force because if Flash always operated at his absolute maximum, most stories would end instantly. And finally, Batman. Batman is one of the greatest strategists in comic history. His intelligence, preparation, and adaptability allow him to compete far above normal human limits. But the internet has turned prep time into something almost mythical. Fans will argue Batman can defeat virtually anyone with enough preparation. But if Batman were naturally stronger than these beings, why would preparation matter so much in the first place? Prep is powerful because Batman himself acknowledges the gap between him and stronger opponents. His victories usually come from planning, exploiting weaknesses, and controlling situations, not from raw superiority. And that's really the point behind this entire list. These characters are not overrated because they're weak. They're overrated because fandom sometimes removes context completely and turns impressive characters into unstoppable myths. Superman is still legendary. Flash is still terrifying. Darkseid remains one of DC's greatest cosmic threats. Batman is still one of the smartest heroes ever created, and the Spectre is still a divine force most beings should fear. But loving a character should never erase perspective, because once fandom turns every favorite character into an unbeatable god, real scaling disappears completely. So the real question is, which DC character do you think fans overrate the most, and which one do people still underestimate?